I think that there are many things that we can learn from our dogs, to include forgiveness, how to enjoy our everyday life, and discipline. Throughout history, humans have had a very unusual connection to our dogs. We love them more than we can explain, and we sometimes even put them on a higher pedestal than we do ourselves. Charles Schulz was quoted, and he said, "All of his life he tried to be a good person. Many times, however, he failed, for after all, he was only human. He was not a dog." It doesn't really matter who he was talking about, because his point was clear. I believe there's a lot we can learn from our canine friends. We can learn discipline and forgiveness and certain ways that we can enjoy our everyday life. It may sound crazy, but I promise that after I'm done talking to you today, you may be able to even name a few things from your dog that you've learned that I didn't even mention. There has never been a time in my life that I did not own a dog. Right now, I am the proud dog mom of a 3-year-old Weimaraner named Luke and a 2-year-old Yorkie named Leia. The three things that stick out the most to me when I think about things that I've learned from my dogs are discipline and forgiveness and some certain little keys to happiness. Dogs are the most forgiving creatures that I know of, and they have incredible discipline sometimes. And for the most part, they're happy all the time. So what better dogs to learn from, or what better animals to learn from? Which brings me to my first point, and that is that holding grudges is for cats. According to Modern Dog Magazine, dogs do not develop the emotion of contempt. They just don't develop emotionally to the point that human beings do. They do develop the emotions of love, anger, happiness, fear, but they never develop contempt, and that explains why they forgive so quickly when they're scolded. Also, according to Modern Dog Magazine, they will never hold a grudge because they don't know how. Humans can take a valuable lesson from dogs because we often let contentment and grudges ruin our relationships. So I think that a valuable lesson we can learn from our dogs is to let go, forgive and forget. So not only have I learned to forgive and forget from my dogs, they've also shown me just a few secrets to success, and that's discipline, which brings me to my next point, and that is that having a little bit of discipline can get you stuff. The most basic command that dogs learn is to sit on command. Both of my dogs learned this fairly quickly because they were rewarded after they did as they were told. Often, I can pick up the bag of treats and my dogs immediately come running and wait for me to give them a command so that they can get a treat. And so I think that there is something valuable that we can learn from this as well, because even though we are not, get down and sit, good boy. Even though humans don't respond quite as well to food treats as dogs do, we do respond to things like diplomas and degrees and promotions. And so I think that we can learn that having a little bit of discipline in our everyday life, in our job, and in our education will get us reward in the end. Like discipline and forgiveness, there's one more important thing that I have learned from my dogs, and they have taught me just certain little keys to happiness in my everyday life. They have taught me that nothing is permanent and to enjoy everything in life to its fullest. You may not be able to recognize what this is, but it used to be a flamingo, and my husband bought it for me because I love flamingos. And it was sitting on a counter and I was enjoying looking at it, but apparently my dogs did not think that I was enjoying it enough, and so they found it and showed me how to really enjoy it. So they take their toys and they enjoy them until they don't even look like toys anymore. And that has taught me that nothing in this world is permanent, and so we should enjoy every person, everything in our lives as much as we can while they're here. This is also what used to be a tennis ball. Dogs are great companions, and as you can see, there's a lot that we can learn from them if we take the time to observe them, and there's many lessons that we can take from our canine friends. So discipline, forgiveness, and keys to everyday happiness are just a few of them, but I'm sure that you may be also able to think of a few things that you can learn from your animals that I did not name. Thank you.